My name is Ben Azadi. I am the best-selling author of 3 books, the founder of Keto Kamp, and the host of the Keto Kamp podcast. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down 5 things you must know about the keto. Let's face it, the ketogenic diet is very popular nowadays. We go on Dr. Google and we'll get over 100 million results, enough to leave you confused and even stuck in your tracks there, not taking any action. In this short video, you're going to understand 5 key things to make keto great, to make keto work for you, so you could calm inflammation, increase energy, feel good, look good, and add years to your life. If that sounds good to you, I want you to grab a pen and paper, because this is going to be information about keto you've never come across before. I guarantee you're going to find several nuggets in here that's going to be an aha moment for you to apply to your health. Number 1, the first thing we need to consider, it's the biggest secret out there when it comes to keto, is that keto is not a diet. Keto is a metabolic process, a metabolic state. And yes, it's been around since humans have existed. That's why when somebody says, yeah, keto is going to go away in a few years, it's a fad, it's a trend. Well, it's been around for 2.5 million years. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Therefore, it is not a fad. It is a fact. Our ancestors, every single one of our ancestors, went through periods of ketosis. Their environment determined this fact. And when the body's going through periods of ketosis, it is very healing to the body, because the body prefers to burn fat instead of sugar. When we burn fat instead of sugar, it's a cleaner source of fuel. When our cells are burning sugar, we are stuck as sugar burners. It's not a fun way to live. We have to function on carbohydrates every 2 to 3 hours just to get through our days. That's not the way we were designed to live. When our cells are burning sugar, it creates a lot of cellular smoke. And I compare that to this truck. Picture a truck that is going through the highway, speeding, with all the smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe of the truck. That's not going to be healthy for its surrounding environment, right? Well, when your cells are burning sugar, it creates a lot of cellular smoke, not healthy for your cellular environment. It creates more inflammation, and it leads to a shortened lifespan. When we could teach the body and our 70 trillion cells to then switch to burning fat-producing ketones, that's like a Tesla cruising through your beautiful streets, much cleaner for its surrounding environment. Fat is much cleaner for your cellular environment. We know that babies that are breastfed go in and out of ketosis because breast milk has saturated fat and cholesterol, which helps the development of the baby's brain, which is mostly fat. When we look at the cells and the cell membrane, it's made up of protein, saturated fat, and cholesterol. As a matter of fact, less than 1% of the entire body is made up of carbohydrates. We love fat. It makes the hormones. Burning fat is our primal birthright, and keto is not a diet. Keto is a lifestyle and a metabolic process. Number 2 is to understand that bile is beautiful. Here is the number 1 thing I see when people struggle as they transition from burning sugar to burning fat and doing keto. They don't have the capability to break down the fat-soluble vitamins that they're having on keto. Vitamins A, D, E, and K. When you eat more fat, we want to be able to break down that fat and assimilate it throughout our bodies. Bile is required to do so. And the liver, which is this soccer mom organ that sits right here on the right side of your body, does everything for us. But here's what happens. We have a liver that has been beat up from processed foods, from high carbohydrates, from toxins, from alcohol. And then all of a sudden, the liver does not produce healthy bile flow, and we cannot break down the fat on keto, and we don't feel good, and we say keto didn't work for us. Well, in reality, it's not that keto didn't work, it's that our liver didn't produce the bile. That's why bitters are better, because consuming bitters on keto helps your liver to stimulate the bile, which acts as that detergent to break down the fat. So here are my favorite sources of bitters on keto. I hope you're writing this down. Good news, coffee fans, a healthy cup of coffee. I have mine right here. Actually stimulates bile production. Make sure it's organic, fair trade. Coffee beans, also apple cider vinegar is terrific. Ginger tea, dandelion tea. These are all great things to consume. Smelling herbs like rosemary and thyme, just smelling them could have an effect on your bile production. And then artichokes are great. These are things we want to have on a daily basis. Lemons and limes, putting that over your keto meats, all of that will help stimulate healthy bile function. The third thing to know on keto is that more protein is better. No, consuming more protein will not knock you out of ketosis. It'll actually do much more pro than it does con, because here's the deal. When we consume protein, we are going to be much more satiated. When we consume protein, it activates hormones like cholecystokinin, peptide YY. These are hormones that help you feel full and satiated. So the rule of thumb here is that we want to consume about 40 to 50 at the bare minimum grams of protein at every keto meal, and then have enough fat so that you're satisfied. This will prevent you from snacking in between your meals and maybe pairing in some intermittent fasting with keto, which, by the way, we'll talk about soon. So more protein is better. When you have protein, yes, some of it might be converted into glucose. And yes, there might be an insulin response, but it is a phase 2 insulin response, not a phase 1 insulin response. Now, a phase 1 insulin response is a much bigger spike of insulin. A phase 2 is a small little dip in your insulin stores or your insulin spike. So we want to make sure we have quality protein, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. We want to eat the clean ones. And part of this same tip here is to make sure you're eating clean keto, staying away from the vegetable oils, making sure you're not having the canola, the soy, the cottonseed, the grapeseed oils, but you're having the avocados, you're having the grass-fed beef, the lamb, the chicken, the poultry, the eggs. This has protein, this has healthier fat. So stay away from dirty keto, stick with these clean keto sources of fuel, and make sure that it's very protein-based. Have focus on protein, fill with fat, and then have bare minimum of carbohydrates. Number 4 is to pair ketosis, with intermittent fasting. They go hand in hand together with autophagy fasting, ancient healing strategies, for good reason, because when you practice fasting, you are activating this innate intelligence. You are telling your body to start cleaning out damaged cells and recycling those damaged cells via autophagy. You are teaching your body to down-regulate inflammation. Fasting is nature's reset button. And when you pair fasting and keto, they both keep glucose and insulin low and allow your body to do its job of burning fat. Because keto is not about eating a whole bunch of fat. That's a misconception. Keto is about going low carb enough to let your body tap into its own fat stores. Therefore, we could get our calories from the plate of food in front of us. That's a keto plate of food. Or we could get our calories from our butt, our hips, and our thighs. And that's where intermittent fasting comes into play. The way that I teach it to my Keto Kamp Academy members is the first pillar, we get keto adapted. And then the second pillar, we add fasting after we are keto adapted. It makes it much more efficient. Okay, the final tip here for you, number 5, is to practice keto flexing. I have a brand new book coming out very soon called Keto Flex. Dr. Mindy Peltz is in there with an excerpt she wrote, and also praise for her work and her inspiration to my work. Keto flexing is what Dr. Mindy Peltz might call diet variation. Dr. Pompa says that as well. It's the same principle. I love ketosis. I think ketosis is super healing, but I don't think we should be in ketosis long term. There are a couple problems that can occur when you are stuck in ketosis for too long. The thyroid might begin to dysfunction because T4, which is the inactive form of thyroid, needs to be converted to T3, and insulin actually helps make that conversion. But when you have chronically low levels of insulin, that conversion could suffer. So keto flexing is a principle where we intentionally choose 1 or 2 days per week. It could be more, it could be less, depending on where your goals are, but we choose a couple days per week on average where we get out of ketosis with high healthy carbs, about 100 to 200 grams of carbs. This helps make that insulin spike, helps that hormonal conversion for thyroid, and it also reminds the body that it's not starving and actually could ramp up fat burning. So keto flexing is where it's at. This is how we master ketosis and make it a lifestyle and not just a fad diet for weight loss. I've seen so many people come in and enroll into my Keto Kamp Academy for the weight loss, but they stay for the health. So when we look at the body and we look at the health from a cellular lens, we're going to be able to reduce inflammation. we're going to be able to burn fat as a side effect. Your symptoms go away as a side effect because you don't have a weight problem, you have a weight symptom. Take care of the cause, the symptom goes away. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about my work, head to my Keto Kamp podcast. You could start with the interview I did with Dr. Mindy Peltz, which was a fantastic interview. Let me know you watched this. Maybe you could take a screenshot right now, post it on Instagram. You could tag me at @VBenAzadi. Let me know you're watching. Let me know you enjoyed it. I want to thank you for watching this entire video. See you all soon. Thanks so much for watching.